Hello, and welcome to the Cancer Journey podcast. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Shariann.
So today we're going to be talking about confusion and just the feeling of being confused and not having clarity along the cancer journey that comes up all the time,
All the
constantly,
time.
really. So before we jump in, let's get grounded. I'll start today. So starting with our PESH check-in, I physically am a 4.15. Emotionally, I am a 4.35. Spirit's a 4.35, and hope is a 4.4, and my word is
Mm, Actually, that feels so appropriate in confusion. Physically, 4, emotionally, for 3, spirits, for 4, hope, 4.5. And my word is unstable.
go ahead, run with it. Confusion.
Well, I mean, when you say messy and I say unstable, I mean it has that feeling of confusion and lack of clarity and just like the big question, what wants to happen, what what just like what, it's like somebody, me, universe, like answer that question. And it's almost like, what do you mean by what? And I could so relate that to the cancer journey because so much is coming at you. And then sometimes it's just quiet, especially when you're in treatment, the treatment journey. And then all of a sudden everything's quiet, and then it's still like, so what? And a lot of it has to do with do. Like, what am I supposed to do? What can I do? And it all then that comes back to me going, okay, what about being? Maybe the answer to the what is what's going on with your being.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing you say is your explanation of being and doing and the what is that when we're in moments of confusion or lack of clarity or uncertainty, what you mean by what is we're looking for answers. We're looking for something to
Hmm.
solve. We're looking for something probably more concrete than what we have. Like the feeling of being confused is it feels like being lost. It feels like you're
Hmm.
wandering. It feels like just waywardness, right? Like fogginess and yeah, like you're looking for a clear this is the next step, this is the answer, this is what I'm supposed to do now. And especially on a cancer journey when we're kind of like taking off things off our checklist and like just trying to move to the next stage, being in the place that you're at and just accepting the present moment and slowing down and being in this moment, regardless of what comes next, is even harder because you already have this inclination to get out of it. And so that's really what we want as the answer. How do I get out of this? How do I get out of this uncertainty? Regardless of what the answer is, really, right? Because people, including us, like everyone is not necessarily comfortable with the unknown and the discomfort of that.
Absolutely. I mean, what you just said is kind of akin to, well, problem solving, but also fixing. And then when you're on a cancer journey, there's so many people telling you what to do, especially the doctor, the medical team, and they're putting you into a structure and a pathway to get well, to heal, to fix whatever's going on. So there's something that's put in front of you. Here's the plan, and then there's you taking things off your list so that you can do the plan, and then there's side effects of the treatment that you're on. I mean, there's just so many components running around that brings the unknown and brings the confusion and brings the unsettling feeling of being, oh, just on the journey. And so what I'm really getting is, how do I find me in all of this? It feels swirly, and doing does feel like, okay, let me get grounded. Let me find I'm going to do finding me, and then I'll have some footing and I can move forward. Where it's like, ooh, it's not all about the doing.
Yeah. So as you're saying that, two things come up for me, and hopefully I remember the second one by the time I get through the first. That's always my problem, right? But that's just has been very much where my head is lately. It's like different thoughts popping in and I'll forget. So, anyways, the first one of the two I'm going to try to remember that came to mind as you were saying that, how the doctor lays out a plan, right? Like everyone lays out a plan, and that's the practical, that's the doing, that's the this is what comes next, this is blah blah blah, everything there, right? So that's the plan on top. But you're underneath it having this emotional experience of everything, right? Like if this stop right here is treatment, then it's having an emotional response underneath of what's going on inside. And the reason that we want an answer period is because we're having this emotional experience underneath that we're not recognizing. And for some reason, this underneath is the thing that's being affected, but we're trying to fix it by something that's on top. And that's really like, okay, I need to find an answer because that seemed concrete and that seemed understandable. I can see that, I can feel it. It's a lot more tangible, which makes it feel a lot more accessible. And that's why we hope that that kind of doing is going to fix everything. But it's actually the intangible underneath here that we need to recognize so that it cannot feel so aggressive and swirly in our emotions or confusing or sometimes even just painful, right? Because you're like, what do you mean? Like, I feel emotionally, internally, mentally awful, but I'm doing the things, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do on that plan that's on top of all the things under here. So why isn't it fixing it? It's because it's not, you can't fix things up here to do the things down here. You need to fix down here first because we need to address how you're feeling and what really matters because there's so much more there to you, right? Because everyone's going to respond to this plan differently. And so the fact that you're responding to it like this is saying something, and that's a big deal. So that's to me kind of how the doing versus the being are kind of laying out, if I'm going to sort of give you a visual. And then the second thing that came to mind, very, very similar, and it's something I've been thinking about for a while now, is how we're giving constantly all this information in the media about how to be the most healthy, how to, live forever, like start doing all of your like weight training now so that when you're old you can, I mean, this is practical, you can get up off the ground if you fall and you have more likely to have longevity in life and stuff like that, which those are good things, right? Eat your chia seeds every day and get more fiber and all of these things that are health trends, especially. It's like, oh, if you're not doing them, you're not a healthy, good person kind of thing, right? And so, you know, yes, we know to drink all of our water and stuff like that, but that forcefulness and that expectation that we're always trying to be like our most optimal physical selves leaves so much to the wayside of like who you are and what you're being. And so in that pursuit of being the best human body you can have, which is like really not very attainable in a like closed system, right? Like you have a life, you have things that are going on. You can't just like add all of these things and be like, I'm gonna live forever. Like I'm gonna be perfect. It doesn't really work that way. You have to only take in the things that really resonate with you, and even just that overwhelm of information of the things that you should be doing to be the most optimal version of yourself is overwhelming to your system and neglects the lifestyle and the experiences and all of that you already have. That's a very big generalization, I know that, but as an individual, it's like we need to think about what matters here now, what is possible for me that really will serve me, right? Like I'm not going to add a 3-mile run every single day if I'm working all day long or I have kids to pick up or, people to take care of. You can't force yourself to go on a 3-mile run every day if that doesn't match who you are. Or if you've like never run before, like maybe that's not the best addition to your life. And so in a very similar way with the confusion, it's like sometimes it's the doing, wanting to take on all of those like health tips and things to integrate into your life, but it doesn't make sense for you because it doesn't serve the person that you are and the life that you have.
Yes, I mean, your 2 points really give wonderful examples of what happens in this confusion and almost why we're so confused. And what I got was we're all trying to feel better. whatever better is. And so, or to like hedge our bets so that I can feel better for as long as I can, because nobody wants to feel the constricting emotions. And yet, what people classify as bad or negative because they don't feel good. Got it. But there's such a part of yourself. Such a part of all of us that we can't always be in perfect health. We can't always be happy and go lucky. It's that's not real. What's real is you're going to be everything. And for us to, I love this example that you were talking about. I love that we have the medical team and the structure and all of that to work with whatever is not working and trying to make it work again. So we're like this computer, this machine, this physical entity, but there's all that stuff inside that is the essence of us. And you can't do the essence. I mean, we try. It's like all this, secrets to happiness book, or just all of the trying to almost manipulate the inners, the being part, where it's as simple. Oof, I'm going to say simple, but not easy to connect with ourselves. Takes commitment, takes willingness. I really want to put willingness out there, because when you're willing to connect with what's under here, then we can go there. We can connect with the essence and the being, and really be. The question more is, what's going on? What am I trying to say to myself in this confused, messy, scattered place that I'm not feeling me? And we're all wanting to come back to me, but when we're all stuck in the doing, or the expectations or the demands that we put on ourselves and others put on us, we can lose sight of who this real person is. And that's when we feel off. So coming back to us, not trying to always go for better, but go for what's real, what's now. I've had conversations lately a lot around, you know, people wanting to plan for the future and actually live in the future, but you can't. What did I say? I think I said it to you the other day. I said, in the future, you can't decide if you're going to, for your future, you can't decide whether you're going to go left or right, because you can't do it. It's over there, and you're going to only do it when you get there. And you can't go back and say, I should have gone left or right. Can't change that. It's already happened. All you can do is in this moment and decide, am I going left or am I going right? So coming back to us in this moment is, what's going on? I'm feeling off. I'm feeling discombobulated. It feels like there's too much. Great. Then let's lay that all out. Let's put the stuff that are demands that's put on by us or to us out there, so we can come back to, what do you need? That what is really the question. What do I need in this moment? And once we can get to the present, like, I need to hug myself. I think I said this before, that our body cannot distinguish between somebody hugging us and us hugging ourselves. So if I need loving care, this feels good. And as I'm doing it right now, I'm really feeling like my hands going up and down. And that feels really good. It's the nourishing of hey, I gotcha. Me, I have me. And in that, it's like, what do I need? And getting quiet. That's the willingness to take the time to just go, shh, okay, head, stop. You for a moment and go down here. What do I need? How's that landing?
Yeah, I think that is a great example of a way of reaching that, and it's going to look different for everyone, really. You are very in tune with your being yourself, so it's really easy to say, like, shut off your head and go to your body and like hug yourself. I think that's actually a harder lift for people who haven't done that before. Like, I think that Well, I want to go back to the willingness because I absolutely agree with the willingness. And I think really that's the key to kind of anything is that willingness actually has like a lot of softness to it, in my opinion. Softness for yourself and softness for the people around you. And what really resonated with me about willingness is, well, first of all, when we're training our coaches, we remind them that you have to have someone who is willing to as your client, because if they're unwilling to shift, they won't. If they're just looking for something to push against, they'll just keep doing that and they won't shift into the next version of themselves, or at least not quickly. Like their resistance is only limiting themselves, but you can't force someone to have willingness. You can show them how it has impacted you and kind of explain, but you can't force someone to have willingness. And willingness is actually the key to get out of the pit. We say that it is letting something go, but you have to be willing to let something go.
Mhm.
And that's going to look really different, right? It's not like, well, here's something that's easy for me to let go. I let something go. Take me out of the pit now. Like that, I sold that thing that I never really used anyways. Like, can I get out now? Like, no, that's not really what we mean. The willingness to let something go is the understanding that it could be really anything. It could be something you're actually very attached to. But if you're willing to let something go in service of you, it'll start to become clear what needs to be let go. It's not like, let's just try to throw away easy things that don't matter to me and hope that that lets me rise up into the next phase. Not really. It is starting to create a vision because you can see what's coming next. Just like you were saying, like, you can't choose what happens in the future. You can only choose what happens now. And that's not like, oh, you only have power in this moment, so you have to do something that gives you instant gratification. Because that's not what we mean by being in the moment. It's not about instant gratification, just what's here. It's about what do I need to be here so that I can achieve what I want in the future? You don't even have to define what that looks like in the future. You can just say that, like, I want to be a better person, and that is your goal, or I want a life that's more aligned with me. That's a great vision. I just want a life that's more aligned with who I am, that makes me happy. All right. Then the willingness comes back to what is aligned for you, right? Like, what
Mhm.
does feeling aligned look like to you? And then you get to start to make decisions that feed that now. You're not going to get there right away. It takes consistency, at least as far as that mindset and that desire to really, really want that. And when you're on a cancer journey, so much of the stuff that was important before gets stripped away and you come front and center. And that's why a lot of our work really does work with people who are on a cancer journey specifically, because this life-changing event has made so clear to them, for better or worse, what matters, right?
Mhm.
Like things that mattered before may not matter now. And we're here to remind everyone that that's okay. And it really is okay to not focus on the things that were once as important before. And you get to be front and center because this is your life. You get to be the main character of your own life without dictating how everyone else should perceive you. And so, as the main character of your own life, what do you want? How do you want to live in the future? You can have that vision, but you don't have to live that right now. You get to start to have those qualities now. You get to start holding on to what that might look like now. And you get to kind of play with how it feels, right? Because if you expected yourself to be CEO of a Fortune 500 company, before pre-cancer, and right now it doesn't feel like that's very possible, that's something to even wrestle with, right? How does that feel now? How does that resonate with you now? Yeah.
Yes. I mean, what I'm hearing you say is dreaming, actually. It's not about, again, it's not about the doing, but allowing yourself to envision the possibilities of what you want that really align. I loved when you said, "No, it's escaped my mind now." This is what happens when we've got so many things like coming into the brain at the same time. Dreaming. Let's go back there to the willingness to allow yourself to have. Yeah, okay, got it. When when I was on cancer journey number 5, and I knew the cancer journey roadmap. And it's like, okay, I know I'm going to hit the pit. So I know I'm going to have to give up something that doesn't serve me anymore. And I did exactly what you said. It's like, okay, let me just kind of go through all my stuff, my life, and what's not working. And of course, it's easy to give up something that doesn't really matter. It's the things that you are so attached to that are the hard things to let go of. But those attachments are not always serving you. So I had no, I can't tell you right now what I said I was going to give up pre pit, but it was totally different than what I had to get back in the pit. And you only know when you're there. So that comes back to being with what's here. And when you're feeling that fuzzy, messy, unsure, confused, discombobulation feeling, that's a clue. Slow down, stop. There's something here because this is where you find it. When it's just so swirly that it's like, I can't, I'm like, I'm lost. Let me be found again by me. And what is that?
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like I'm in confused fuzzy space too, but I do feel like this is coming really full circle with where we started even, right? And so exactly as you're saying, that confusion, that lack of clarity is a message. Your first reaction when you're feeling confused, maybe I'm being too targeted by saying you're feeling this. When I'm confused and fuzzy, is naturally my first reaction is I want an answer. I want to get out of it. This is uncomfortable. However, growth is uncomfortable. And growth is unclear until you get there. What's going on really? And so I would emphasize that this is likely a moment of growth. And yes, slow down because the answers aren't going to be clear because you force them. You're not all of a sudden going to get answers. So, I mean, I would say that I'm in like a pity moment right now. I don't know if I'm like deep in the pit, but I can recognize that this is a pit moment where I am just unclear. And the pit doesn't mean everything's bad. The pit doesn't mean like this is the worst of the worst. The pit is just like, huh? Really? Truly. And so the willingness, if I am in confusion, I want to add the willingness. What that says to me is that I need to let something go. And what I'm feeling that I need to let go of is that fight for clarity and just be in the confusion and let myself process because that's really, it feels like I'm buffering. It feels like I'm processing. It feels like I'm processing slower than maybe I'm used to. And so there is this like extra discomfort of like, oh, I'm usually so on and I'm like so eloquent or like I usually know what the answer is, especially if you have strengths like strategic or deliberative and you're like, I can usually see this, what's going on? And you want to force it, right? But the willingness is like trust. Trust that it'll come. I think this is my takeaway. Trust that the answers will come, the fog will lift and you will get clarity. But it, even just like all the information that you have and that you're processing, which in this world these days, constant information is getting put out there for you to absorb. So it's okay to take some time to process. It's okay to ask for more time to think about it because you're really taking that time to get aligned and allowing yourself to slow down. And the slowing down isn't even about like moving at like a snail's pace. It's about giving yourself space to just for the pieces to come together more clearly. They'll happen naturally. It will. Because the confusion means it's still forward facing. It's not something that you're like, oh, I don't need to worry about that. Like you're confused because it matters to you. So it'll stay
Mhm.
there. It'll churn. And at some point, you will have an answer. You will have clarity. And if you don't have clarity with it, maybe that is the answer is that you won't have clarity there. And you need something else to kind of fill that space. That felt like rambling, but that was my takeaway. I think my takeaway is trust. So my word is trust. I'm doing this so out of order. See, a mess, messy. And that's totally fine. The
Totally
pieces are
fine.
there. The pieces are there. They're just not in sort they're in an order that I may deem correct in my brain, right? So physically, I am 4.35. Emotionally, I'm a 4.45. Spirit is a 4.35, and hope is a 4.4. 4, 5, and my word is trust.
So what I got from what you said and what we've been talking about is that this confusion for me is not just me connecting to me, but me knowing that I'm confused because sometimes I'm taking on more responsibility and obligation. Like I'm choosing, this is my choice. It's all coming from, under here, that I'm responsible for how other people are going to react or what other people need or how my actions cause somebody else something else. And so it's a lot of out there that I can't control. Like how somebody reacts is out of my control completely. And yet I would worry about that and think about it. And now I'm adding more things to me. And so it's getting so much that I'm like, huh? What? And when I can see that and I can go, well, that's not mine, and that's not mine, and that's not mine. Okay, now I'm coming back to me. I'm coming back to me. What do you said want, what do I need, and what do I want? I love both of those questions for me, so that you're right, I might not get clarity, but what do I need for me? Just that question and the willingness to hear what my soul and my heart have to say can be scary because it might be, I don't want that. And that's going to hurt that person. Or I can't do that thing. And that's going to have an impact on that project or that company or those people. It's the impact that I'm so responsible for. And I'm not. I'm responsible for me. This is my takeaway that I have to be first, or I'm going to stay in this or be overwhelmed by this discombobulation. That doesn't serve anybody. What serves is me doing right action for me. And so that's my takeaway, which works with your trust because it's like, I have to trust myself. I have to believe in myself. So instead of trust, I'm going to do believe as my word. And yes, I'm going to go backwards too. And so physically, I'm 4.25, emotionally 4.4, spirit 4.6, and hope is 4.6. And what I want to say about that is it's amazing when you just speak what wants to be spoken, that all of a sudden it all comes back. Maybe that's me, but I've done a lot of work. And so I'm sharing that with you. It's like, let's speak to each other. Let's process.
You know what's so funny is that I was also just gonna throw in like, wow, the magic in the telling, like you can say that it doesn't work, but you have to be the one to go through it. So like even in just speaking through this, you and I get to process so much of it for ourselves. So it's more than just listening, which I hope whoever's listening to this podcast like is really appreciating it, but also we want you to have an opportunity to also speak on your own opinions about this, about your opinions about anything, about just how you're experiencing the world, and to have a voice in doing that, like literally saying it out loud. There are a lot of other modes of ways of speaking your truth, but to say it out loud, regardless of if you fully mean it all the time or not, right? Just have a really safe space to say whatever comes out. It's really, really healing. And it's only
Yes.
something you can do for yourself. So
Yes.
you can get a free gift session with a cancer journey coach if that's what you're interested in. So if that's what you're interested in, just let us know. That's always available. And thank you for joining us today. We'll be back next week with a new episode.
Have a lovely rest of your day. And remember, you're more powerful than you realize.